The route to becoming a scientist is one that's not very clear, because there's no class that anyone ever takes that trains you to become a scientist. You can train to become a medical doctor, you can train to become an electrician, you can train to become a civil engineer, but there's no degree necessarily in becoming a scientist. And so that's really where mentorship became important. And so science is one of these old apprenticeship-like systems. It's one of probably the last true apprenticeship systems that exist in the world, where you learn from a mentor, they teach you a process, and then you go on and you become a teacher yourself. So when Christian and I established our labs after coming from Arizona, we decided that we would operate as one large lab with distinct projects. Experiments in molecular biology are always hard and challenging, and two minds are better than one. And so it makes for an interesting relationship, and it ends up being a collaborative environment for everyone, I think, in the lab, because whether they like it or not, they really have two mentors, and I think for the most part they all like it, because they end up getting advice from Christian, and they end up getting advice from myself. And one of the things that's really sort of comical, maybe also hard for the students, is that we don't always agree. In fact, we very seldom agree. And the students will watch us sort of argue with each other about the correct way to do things. But that ends up having a kind of a unique aspect to it, because you realize that there is no right answer, and that you work together to find some common ground.
So I guess one thing that's really nice about working with two labs is you have twice as many people you can go to talk through problems, to get help with. It's really nice having kind of almost a second mentor. If we have problems, we can also go to Jeff, and it's also good to get kind of an outside view sometimes when we're running into problems. So that's kind of one of the main reasons that I picked to join Christian's lab, is because there was such a good support network.
One thing that's true of both Jeff and I, and it may stem from having just really fantastic mentors during our training, is that we're both really passionate about mentoring. And mentoring isn't just providing a lab environment for people to do experiments. It's really trying to develop their critical thinking, develop their communication skills, develop their ability to present their work. And so we provide those opportunities in addition to providing a research environment. And we do that not only for our graduate students, which are the major part of at least both our labs, but we also have a very long tradition in Cleveland of mentoring high school students in collaboration with the Gilmore High School in Gates Mill, where we have mentored between 20 and 30 high school students, where they're learning what science is in a real environment rather than kind of the canned experiments they get in a classroom. So we have undergraduate researchers that do research. They're not in the lab to act as dishwashers or support staffs, do real research projects, and really contribute to the underlying questions that drive our research in the lab. And in fact, a number of undergraduate researchers in the lab have been authors on publications because of their real contributions to the research that's going on in the lab.
So one of the sort of real beneficial aspects about being a mentor is that as you train students, it soon becomes clear that the student starts to, in fact, train you. I mean, if you fill your lab with these people that really are just very creative and very excited about what they're doing, you know, it's just amazing, because you can go in and they can sort of get you excited because they're learning new things and they're teaching you that you had no idea that you would even think about these things.
Why do I want to be a scientist? Well, it allows me to, do something that I love. I get paid to come in here and think about things, really. I've always been interested in problem solving and finding out how things work, so it's kind of a perfect fit for me in that I can just, apply things that I learned in the classroom, come into the lab, or at least just sit down and think through a problem and come up with an answer.